Hi, welcome to Alap uh, Conversations. I'm just going to add my dear colleague and friend Keerthana. Just give me a minute.
Hi,
Hi,
Keerthana.
Arupa. Can you
Hi.
hear me? Yeah.
Yes. Can you hear me? Are you
Yes.
able to hear me? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So, oh wow, we
I
already
thought
have
it's
50.
very cold in Delhi.
It is very cold. But
You
you
want to
need
get the
to.
Chennai vibe, is it there?
Absolutely, absolutely. You're absolutely right. So I thought I should dress up, keeping in mind the Chennai season. Now, of course, the friends in Chennai need to confirm whether post cyclone it's equally cold there or not. So I
Yeah, yeah.
also got my coffee ready. So
Are you sure it's only coffee, Arupa?
yes, yes, absolutely. It's not the decoction that you have got, but it's definitely coffee to keep me warm in the, Delhi cold and also bring in the Chennai
Yeah.
uh, feel. So we'll just wait for another minute or so, maybe, and then yes,
Yes.
Akila says yes, it's cold, yeah. But I'm imagining the Chennai in my memories. So memory can always be what you choose to be. So definitely, it's going to be,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. Good to see you, Keerthana. It's good to see you after such a,
Yeah, good to
long
see
gap.
each other's non-morning face, no?
Yeah, I know. So I think, what time is it? Do you have a watch? Okay, so
It's
yeah,
almost, yeah, a minute to go, I suppose. Yeah.
yeah. So Akila says, please go ahead. So we'll follow
Yes,
captain's
it's
rule and say, aye, aye, captain, and start off. So yeah,
sure.
yeah. So it's actually nothing to start off, I guess, but it's just uh, picking up threads. I think with Keerthana Ravi, it's for me, it's just like picking up where we left because
Left off, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Because when Akhila asked me for this conversation and she said that do you know Keerthana? I said, oh, I know her too well. I know her like really a fellow Gemini. I have stayed in her house. We share love for the pets,
Yeah.
and like we are both Bharatanatyam dancers. So I don't know where the similarities end. So it's like
And
Kirtana is
we
an
both
old friend.
have a very good reputation for jabbering a lot.
Oh yes, that's not our reputation. It's not just you and me.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's Gemini reputation. Okay, you blame it on the
It's a gift
sunshine.
of
Don't blame.
gab, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I think that is absolutely there. Now, for the friends and for the dance lovers, whom because of course Alap has such a huge following all over the world, not just
Absolutely.
into the in the Bharatanatyam community, but I think across the world. So I would like to share my memories of Kirtana before we start off.
Which
And
one?
okay, it's a very nice one. And then I'm going to ask you, like, where exactly do you remember you met me? Okay, see, she's rolling her eyes, so she actually doesn't remember. Okay, all out there. So my favorite memory of hers is doing this japa kind of movement, where she's crouched in Vajrasan and she's doing the movement. And when she showed that choreography, I was like, wow, there's something, there's something
Oh,
about
so
this
sweet.
dancer, and I really enjoyed watching you doing japa there, and so that's I think is my first memory. That's what I remember of Kirtana. So Kirtana, what
So
do you
sweet.
remember? What do you remember of me?
Okay,
Apart,
now that you said such a
only
sweet thing, even I'm
censored.
going to say a very nice thing, okay?
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, actually, my first memory of you, if I don't think you remember, of course, I bumped into you at KK's at Krishna Gana Sabha for
Hmm.
for Uma Aka's program, and
Okay,
I
okay.
got confused with the name, and I said, "Hello, Amrita." because Amrita Lahiri and
okay,
you have the
okay.
same thing. And
Yeah.
you
A
know
lot of people.
my great thing with names, right? So
Yes,
I have
yes,
this mumble
yes.
jumble like sometimes, and I'm
Hmm,
always so overexcited to like, hi,
hmm,
how are you? What's up? And I just said I'm Amrita. Then
hmm.
you said no, I'm actually Arupa. Amrita is a Kuchipudi dancer. I'm like, I'm sorry, I meant you only. So that is
That's
like the first time I think I spoke to you.
So it's okay for you to to get confused. There are people who have called me up for tours, which are meant for Amrita Lahiri. Okay, so that I think is taking it a notch too much. Okay, so then very politely, only when it came to level of passport numbers, and then I was like,
Oh gosh.
okay, this is not matching with my passport number. So then, hopefully,
Good you
Amrita
realized
went
before.
before boarding the flight. I know, I know. So, yeah, so that's what it is. And, I think this is something very interesting that Akila has that Alap has brought us together for, because Margazhi is a very, and this canteen culture, this coffee and gup-shup. I think this is as integral part of the December season as the dance and the music. So,
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so
So also, it's also a fun place to kind of meet other people and
hmm.
smile and like not the formal falling on the feet, but it's a
That's
more
also there.
younger
That's
vibe, right?
yeah. No,
Yeah.
but
I
that
I remember
definitely is
doing
there.
this in the canteen everywhere like this, and then going and getting the coffee, and I was like so awkward whether we must sit down because such a great person is sitting in this table, and then you're like trying to handle the sari and drink the coffee, and I've had those
Oh
moments. I
God.
don't know about you, but I've been like
Oh,
so
of course.
awkward because such senior artists, they'll be sitting like, how can I sit there with them? No, I'll
Yeah,
stand
yeah,
somewhere else.
absolutely.
And
Absolutely,
it's
absolutely. I
always like
think
that.
all of us, and what I used to have the most problematic thing is, I don't know, because maybe because we were always rushing to programs post rehearsal. It's like a mad rush. And I remember, I don't remember. I think it was Kannan sir who had told me that Chennai season is all about moving on, moving on, moving on, keep going like that. And that's what the musicians do. That the rehearsals start from what 4:30 a.m., 6 o'clock in the morning, and like rush, 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 one after another rehearsal. You have a group rehearsal, you have a solo rehearsal, and then you need to catch the conference, then you need to catch the performances, and you'll have a list. So who all like one Malaka, one Priyaka, one Valyaka,
Yeah.
one Ramaka. Like
I
these
miss
are like
that. I'm
mandatory.
really
Yeah.
missing that. It's like the more I talk to you, I'm like, oh God, can we just go to Mylapore and soak in that and look
Oh,
at how we can Sabah hop for the day.
yes, and you
It's
catch the beginning of one performance, and you catch the second half of the Varnam and the Padam and the Silla and another performance. So it has been like,
I generally don't do that, but
oh,
if
okay.
at all I have to miss anything, I would rather sit in nicely, enjoy the Varnam, and then like I would
Hmm.
not want to miss any programs
Of course.
Varnam. I'm
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
Varnam holic.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Somehow it just tells you so much about the artist and the thought and the artistry.
Yes.
It's like a fun part for me of the program. And I guess
Yeah.
the amount of Varnams that we get to watch for
Our
that
own, yes.
1 month or 20 days, it's like
Huh.
enough for the rest of the year. You don't want to watch too many
But
programs
it's
after.
also there, no, when you watch three performances of the same Varnam and then you say, oh no, the first violin note or the first flute note, and you will be like, oh no, not one more. Okay, so that also
Yeah,
is
and
there.
sometimes in
Hmm.
season, have you noticed there'll be this one popular Varnam? Like I
I
think for
know.
1 year it was Mohamana. And
Yes,
everyone
yes.
was doing Mohamana. And then it was Mohamagini. And then sometimes it just happens
Yeah.
that many artists are exploring the same Varnam. But then Varnam is Varnam. You can just get lost in it. So
Yes,
it's
yes,
fun.
absolutely, absolutely. I at this juncture, I like really want to thank Alap for bringing me into this conversation, because I think I have been somewhat like an outsider to the to the Chennai world, and when I had gone, I was Keerthana. It's so funny that I had I was just like a raw nothing. Okay, like a nothing. Okay, and I thought the black blouse
How
goes
old were
with.
you then, Arupa? Your first Margazhi, you remember?
Yes, I remember. Wait, I'll tell you. So I went to Akka quite late. I joined Chitraka when I was, I think, 20 or 21, second year of my college. Yeah, 1920. So the first year, of course, I learned and came back. But the second year was the time when I started. I was part of the group, and that group was performing. And my first solo was also in the season.
Wow.
So that was Mellapur Fine Arts, and I think it was I was about 20 or 21 year old. And I always say that even how to dress up is what Chitraka has actually taught me. So that's so important part of the season as well, because you need to pack your sarees, you need to pack your practice costume, you need to think about what are you're going to have the morning
Basically, your whole
conferences.
wardrobe.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
you can't wear
yes.
cotton sari in the evening again.
It,
It'll not
of
stay.
course,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So I would say that the season teaches us to dance, to micromanage, increases our knowledge. It also teaches us to dress up, to hold a
Yeah,
conversation, and build your community. I think like
correct.
that
I
is
think
so
yes.
important. Yeah.
The whole feel of community, of
Hmm.
fraternity, like,
Hmm.
I mean, we've seen it, right? Even when at music academy, there is a dance college that comes in from Kerala. There are so many people who come in from other parts of the country, and suddenly off
Hmm.
the Facebook, off social media, you're seeing them live, and it's so nice. And then you go
Hello,
back, you
darling.
have a
At
memory, you have
my
another
yeah,
story.
my time, which is okay. I'm sounding really old now. Okay, there was no
Let's
social
not
media.
divulge all that, please, Arupa.
Okay, so there was no social media at all. Like, what was there? I have forgotten. Before Facebook, what was it? Um,
Orkut,
Ha,
Orkut,
some
Orkut.
yeah, something like that, something vague like an Orkut, okay. And it was not considered. Akka like drilled this into us that you cannot invite somebody over a message. That was considered to be insulting. So that you send a WhatsApp message nowadays saying I'm performing was
Yeah.
unthinkable. So you need to go, you need to also take out that time to, I think lot of comments are also coming, like lot of people that we know have joined in, and I would
Yes.
love to say, Mevedana is there, Amaka is there, I can see that.
Rama ma'am is there. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to take a time out to read the comments, Keerthana?
No, I'm little like feeling very conscious about such nice people on this chat. Let's just focus on the
Focus on
conversation.
each other. Okay. You are feeling conscious. You are one of the most,
Yeah, for
you are
all the
like,
people. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, Keerthana is for people who don't know Keerthana, which is a surprise. She's like a people's person, totally. Okay, like
Yeah.
I haven't come across one person who does not like Keerthana Ravi. So that's the whole
Hey, hey,
point.
hey,
And
that's little
yeah,
too much. But yes,
that's
I
the
can talk to
fact.
anybody. I
Yes,
can have a good conversation even with a wall. I love talking, so that's
I
fine.
I trust you. I
That's
trust you
true.
on that. Yeah. So absolutely there. So like picking up the thread that that's I think I've lost somewhere where
No,
I was.
no. You were saying about how Margaret kind of trained the dancer in you, like
Yeah, so
have more
so it's
communication, better
no, so
communicative
I
skills.
think I was saying that Margazhi is the one which has it is a time which has helped me build a community. So if I know you
True.
today, or if I know Kiran Rajgopal, or if I these are people I have made friends during the season, like
Yeah.
while being in Chennai. They are not my relatives. You are not my relative, right? I don't have a single person. Like I'm a Bengali, true blue Bengali, absolutely. So I don't have anybody in Chennai when I went there. So all my friends, my community, my relatives are whom I have met during the season, across the coffee table, in the sabhas. So that is something I
True.
think is lovely. That you've
Quite,
connected.
yeah.
Hmm.
Absolutely. I think it's like a whole month of conferences and programs. For me, it's one of the most inspiring seasons. It's one of the most inspiring times in the year. And I feel like every time I go to the Margazhi, I go to Chennai, I get rejuvenated, I get recharged for the rest of the year because I don't live in Chennai, and
Yeah.
you crave that community, you crave that atmosphere, especially after moving from Bangalore to Mumbai. Like the dance circle, it took some time to make my friends, but there also we've got like a nice little tight knit gang.
Yes, of course.
But
Hmm.
when you come to Chennai, like everybody's a dancer, no? Everybody's an
Yeah, and
artist, an
everybody
art
knows
lover.
everybody. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
And so I know we are in a bubble because it's a very small part of Chennai that is in soaking in Margazhi. But it's nice to be in that bubble for some time at least, because all of us in our regular lives are struggling with what is the relevance of our art form, how to make it economically viable, and what am I doing? And we're always explaining or justifying or trying to say, trying to convince other people and ourselves sometimes. So when you come
Hmm.
to Chennai, it kind of reinforces everything, right? You just know that this is why we dance. Like a good performance you watch. I mean, for me, about half the time, almost all the time, I've only been in Chennai to clap. And I have loved being on the other side of the stage. I think I've grown up
Yeah, I
watching those
think that's the
programs.
best bit about Margari, that you watch.
Yes.
That's like the
And
amazing part.
you learn so much. You learn so much.
Hmm.
So, like, if there are any friends who've not really caught a Margari season yet, once the pandemic is open and over and things are open, please don't miss the next Margari, because it is so inspiring and motivating for dancers, musicians to be in that atmosphere. See, we need to feel like a community, to be together, and this kind of does it for us. So it's a nice bubble.
It's a very interesting word that both of us are using again and again. The concept of community. I think this is what. So thanks to Alap again, I would say this is the first time I started reading about Margari, and like I have been
Oh,
part of so many Margari seasons. Like I can't even, year after year, while I was part of the troupe, then I think I've danced across the sabhas every day, like been there, garage for about 2 months, like that, and I have never really read up on it. So when Alap first approached and I started reading up on it, it's very interesting to realize that it's the whole purpose of starting Margari was to build a community, to build a national identity, and that's why these 2 months were chosen, December, January, like a kind of an antidote to the Christmas season. So when you see that if 1916 was, somewhere I read, was one of the first musical conferences that happened in India in North, Bhatkhande, I think Bhatkhande conference. So if you start from there, so within 1928 is our first season by Madras Music
yes,
Academy. So yeah, just getting
yes.
together, finding a national identity and building a community through art, through spiritualism, through
Conversations.
religion,
Yeah.
through conversation. So that has been the purpose. And 1916, and today we are standing on 2020. And that's exactly again
Wow,
what
a
we are
hundred
doing,
years.
Yeah, more than 100
Correct.
years. Yeah,
Correct.
we are
But in a way, we're
continuing.
lucky, right? We kind of have our community on Facebook and Insta, and so we kind of like
Yeah,
are in touch and are connected. But the whole fun of watching a live performance by a star, by our favorite divas, I think
yeah, yeah.
I have so many fond memories. But one of the
Oh,
ones I
okay.
would like to say is, so the
Hmm.
first. Like music academy. Okay. So I'm born in Chennai, and my mom's full
Oh,
side
wow. Okay.
lives in Chennai till
Hmm.
date.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
have like a family there,
Hmm.
and as
Hmm.
a kid, my Christmas vacation was spent in Chennai. So
Hmm.
I remember being 8, 9, and an uncle of mine, his name is Sarthi uncle, he used to take
Hmm.
me to all the sabas where he used to volunteer. So he would take 2 months off his work
Oh,
and he would
wow.
volunteer
Okay.
in all the sabas. Yeah,
Amazing.
just to
Huh?
listen to music and
Hmm.
watch dance programs. And my family, there is not an iota of music and dance, at least classical music and dance in this side of the family. But my
Hmm.
uncle was like somehow
Hmm. Hmm.
the person who got very attracted into this and took it upon himself to enjoy classical music and dance. So he would take me along because I think by then I had started learning dance and music. So I remember sitting on the moped and going from Villivakam to this Sabha on Habibullah Road. I think it's called Karnataka Sangha now. So I would go and drop off sleep while returning back. But he always said, you were so well behaved. I just had to give you that bhaji bonda, badam milk before the program, and you would not say anything till the end. So I remember being ferried like that by my uncle. But however, we would only do Bharat Kalachar or these sabhas. Music Academy was still like somewhere else. And I remember passing the flyover and I read, like I had not been there, and I read Madras Music Academy. And I think I was in the 9th or something. So there was a mention about Music Academy and the whole revival that happened, like in our history textbooks. And I'm not kidding you, I am over dramatic, but if I could, I would have stopped that bus and gotten down and touched the land there. And I was so happy because something that I read in my textbook, finally, I just saw in front of me. And I think from then, Music Academy has always been like this place I look up to.
It's like the star, okay? It's like, it's like the haloed portals that, when you step into it, also it's like you feel goosebumps.
Right. You feel like, oh my God, we have to be all prim and proper. So I remember like much later, this must be like 10 years back or 8 years back. Before that, I wouldn't really buy tickets. I wouldn't go for Music Academy. I would be in Chennai till December end, and Jan I would be back at work or at college and school, whatever it was. So finally, like when I decided to take up dance fully, I was going, and it was like, for me, when the program was over, people come out and stand, no? Or before the program, you'll stand. So I was also like, what is this phenomena? I was also quietly standing there. And then suddenly, Malaka, Rama ma'am, Alamer Malli. I was like, ooh. So that became an activity before and after the program. Just go stand there to look at all your stars.
Oh, yes.
And oh my God, I still get goosebumps.
That's our stargazing, that's what we call as our stargazing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like superstars spotting, oh, Malika Kale. And then you'll go and you'll fall on your feet, and then that'll be like, wow, made my day. And if they ask, hello, what's your name? And all that, gone. That evening, you're like in bliss. I guess
pure bliss,
it's that being starstruck, awestruck, it is so nice. And I think even till date, I feel like that when I see them in academy or outside especially, or in the canteen. Canteen, I'm still very awkward. I don't know whether to say hi or coffee, tea, what to do. But for me, I think Margazhi is all about this wonderment, enjoyment, soaking in as much as I can Bharatanatyam, because it's difficult. No, Arupa, you live in Delhi, I live in Bombay. It's not an everyday phenomena for us to meet dancers or hear the language. Like I crave to hear Tamil. I crave to have conversations on dance.
See, I'm a Bengali, right? Again, I will say that. So I have picked up language only by being in Chennai. And I'll always say that the auto drivers have taught me Tamil. Okay, that is how I have learned my Tamil. Okay, because to negotiate with the auto drivers, it's very, very important. It's mandatory that you learn the language. Otherwise, you are like, those were the days before Ola and Uber were in town. So now life is like much more easier.
Much easier.
So So that time it was definitely like that. If I ask you, what's like your favorite Margazhi moment of performance? Like being on stage.
Okay, there are many. So one non-dance and one dance. So I think I was in ninth or 10th. Yeah, 9th standard. 10th standard, of course, we were studying. We didn't go to Chennai and go to Sabha for Margazhi. So 9th, my uncle had taken me to watch Balamurali Krishna live in performance. Oh my God, Arupa, 4 hours. Mesmerized. And I am not like a avid classical music. Like I wouldn't listen proactively and all that. Yes, I like music. That's about it. But then when I heard him, I was transfixated. And he's old. He was old by then. And so you know how he has a lot of fans. And when the car drives out, there'll be a lot of fans standing, waving and all. And I was one of them that day. So I waved out. and he waved back. And I felt like he saw me in my eye, in my eye, made contact and waved back to me. And that remains like such a moment for me. Like, to be acknowledged, I don't even know whether he saw me, and it really doesn't matter. But it made me feel so special and connected with me so much. Somewhere I just felt like that's such a big lesson. You become a huge, huge superstar, but you don't take your audiences for granted. You treat them nicely. You're warm. You spread that warmth. And I remember running like some other people also were there who were running, and I thought this was like the norm, or maybe I don't know what I was thinking. I also ran behind the car till the parking, and till he went out, and I was waving. And like how you do it if like I was like that when I saw Shah Rukh Khan also. So this was like my classical Shah Rukh Khan moment.
Classical Shah Rukh Khan moment. So now since you make me so jealous with that picture, so now I'll kind of make you jealous, with the thing that I have been very lucky to like be like an MC, like an announcer to the program. So again, this was something that we used to do. It was mandatory for Kappa. One person will perform, the other person will do announcements, the third person will sit on the light. So we will be like a network, taking care of the performance. So I was the MC, and it was for Vipanchi. So, and I was in the wing.
Wow.
So it used to happen, yes, with him. Okay. So I was like, okay, so am I supposed to react to this? And then I have to go back into the stage and act very calm and poised and, keep it going. So it's like that. So that has been, I think, again, a very wonderful moment.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He was a very warm artist, Arupa, like even though he was such a senior artist, such a genius, that he oozed out that warmth. I kind of really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So for me, I have a very cool dance moment. So this was the time where I didn't have enough money, and I couldn't afford buying season pass of Music Academy downstairs.
Of course.
Actually, now also I'll think like one few times, and then only
I don't think we can buy it.
So then I would like buy balcony. I was very happy watching programs from the balcony. So this was the
I
Margazhi.
never bought whatever I will
You
only
had
watch
no
from...
student pass.
Yes. Of course I had.
Lucky. Yeah. So by the time I knew of the student pass, I wasn't looking student age. So I couldn't go for that. I didn't have any ID, nothing to say I'm in college and all. So yeah. So this was one of those first few seasons where I would buy the balcony pass, and I actually enjoyed sitting in the balcony. And you know me, I'll make conversation with random people. So there was one mama that I had made friends from day one. So if I go early, I'll catch his place. If he goes early, he'll catch my place. And still no WhatsApp and no phone. So it's just like, I'll catch place for you. So he caught, of course, I went on time. I caught place for him and his friend. It was Rama Ma'am's program. This was the first time I was watching Rama Ma'am in Academy. It was a big deal. Like, I was very excited. And he's like, okay, so any kya Rama?
I saw Rama Ma'am was in Chennai. Was in, it was in collection. But we'll come to that later. So, yeah. So you carry on. So
this, and then this mama will sweetly exchange notes. Oh, enna pannanga ipo? And oh, I really like this. Semmeya irundichu. Yes, mama. Little conversation will happen. So Rama Ma'am's, so I said, I want to learn dance from her. I hope, I really want to learn dance from her. That's what I told him there. He's like, okay. And we watched, and no small talk in the middle of the program and all. After 1 hour, 15 minutes, he just turned around and said, she's very good, ma. Very good. Super choice. I'm like, okay, thank you, Baba. So that, and I also remember, Arupa, this was also the same season where Kishori Muslakanti Anna had performed Kuchipudi at the 6 p.m. slot. Both these times, I could feel the energy of the audience in the balcony. I could feel them moving with the artist. Especially like at pauses, at freezes, I could hear that breath stop, and at like moments where they wanted to clap, and I could hear the pulsating energy, and I really felt like I was watching like the same energy that you get when you watch a movie in a theater.
Absolutely.
So for me, I was like, who said that nobody enjoys dance, or it's a very serious crowd, or it's like this, you need to be like that, you need to behave like this? They should just come and sit at the balcony of academy and watch the program. It was
Yeah.
so energetic and again inspiring, again so motivating. I'm like, this is what we all want, right? This is what we all work hard for. So for me, I think that remains one of the closest and one of the most dear memories of Margazhi.
I think
Yeah.
this is the only, if I'm not very wrong, this is the only thing across globe, which is like a performing arts festival on the calendar. Like nowhere else,
Yeah.
I think there is something
It's
like
such a
this where,
grand scale.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's also a tourist attraction. So if you are traveling and if you pick up the flight magazines and all that, you will see that the December, January music season and dance season is like something which attracts tourists all over the world to Chennai. So,
Absolutely.
so many,
Absolutely.
so many aspects that come out of one thing, which was started so early, like for an
Yeah.
identity, has now become like a complete. What should I say? A complete, commercial, a complete, soul.
Absolutely. Touristy. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
everything. There are
not
so
only
many
art and
aspects. Yeah,
culture.
yeah.
It's kind of, it helps the whole economy, right, of the
Yes,
city, which
yes,
is great.
yes.
So it's
Hmm.
glad to see that dance and music
Hmm.
in some ways driving that
Yeah,
business
so
and
I think
economic. So
again that's an
it's
affirmation for
yeah,
us, for artists, that
absolutely
our art can be. Whenever people come to you and they say,
valued.
why are you taking up art? Like it gives you nothing. But here, when you go, you are validated. You are affirmed by your
Exactly. You
yeah
feel good about being a dancer. You feel like
dancer.
you've
Yeah.
made the right decision because of the environment, and some ultimately it's a professional kind of
Hmm.
coming together of people, right? So yeah, I absolutely get what you're saying.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
But let's look at the flip side. Arupa, being an outsider, I mean, I'm amazed to know that in year two itself you were dancing in season. Do you feel like it's difficult to crack into season? Is there a formula? Like, what is your take on this outsider getting into
So
the season? And
I'll
what is
really
your take
share.
on it?
So since I asked you about pleasant memory, I'll share one unpleasant memory, maybe, before I get into. There is no formula of success. There is never a formula of success. But I don't even know whether I am in the, we are in a on the threshold where I don't know what is success. We can't talk about it really. So, but one thing that I, as an outsider, probably faced, in which was again part of Margazhi memory, is my first brush with pay and perform was during Margazhi. And so the first performance happened when I was 20-year-old, and then 20, yeah. So the next year, your ambitions grow. One performance done, people appreciate, then you want to grow higher. So the next year was when I wanted to dance in the inaugural. At that time, even now, inaugural slots are the very prestigious slots of a sabha. So I had to really pay at that time, and it was very, very difficult. Okay, so it was not just a
But you
2,000,
took that decision, or you just were
Well,
just went with the. Did
my
you
guru
think
was.
what were you doing? Like what you were doing?
So Vishweshankar had passed away that year. So, and Akka was not well, and it was I remember that season as a very cold season. It was raining all the time, and was it a decision that I took only on my own? I don't remember, but I definitely remember that Akka telling me that you have to think 4 times whether you want to invest so much amount of money. So, well, I did invest. My family went through a lot of hardship, but that's when I realized that somewhere when I come to, even if I come to step 1, I'm not going to allow the next lot of dancers do this. And then when, Ashokji came up with this concept of Navapallav, I said, I am one of the first volunteers and the first people standing there who is going to protest against pay and perform, not because I'm against the idea, but because I have been a victim of that. So that's when I think we need to realize that this is not the last stage that God is giving us. If this doesn't work, something else will work. Some other stage will come. So again, when I don't want to take up a name of a very young dancer who has been very successful by God's grace, an outsider. He called me at one point of time and he asked me that, so and so is telling me that, I can get you something. Should I allow him to, in exchange of something? I said, don't. You never came to dance because of Music Academy or Krishna Gana
Exactly.
Sabha or,
Exactly.
like the sabhas. You came to dance because you love dance. So it does not matter if
Arupa,
you don't perform.
You said it right.
Yeah, so I think
same thing, but not pay
Yeah.
and perform. But I had a similar realization. Again, you learn a lot, right, when you're in Chennai and when you're watching so much, when you're imbibing so much. So there was like, I'll be lying if I say that, oh, I don't want to dance in academy, oh, I don't want to be here,
Of
I
course.
don't want
Yeah,
It is not
yeah,
true.
yeah.
So, and also when I took up dance as a full-time profession, I was 27 years old. So I was leaving a very successful, happy, cushioned job, which I really liked, for doing dance completely. So at that point of time, you're trained. I was I'm an MBA grad and I've worked in a corporate. So
Wow.
you have these are my goals. These are year 1, year 4, year 5, all those things you have, right? So of course, in all that, the one thing that I wanted was to perform in Chennai in the season. And of course, somewhere you'll have in your heart where you want to dance in academy. That's so there. But I remember after a couple of years of going every year, I started feeling like, when am I going to do? When am I going to go? When am I going to be there?
Yeah.
Will I ever?
Yeah.
And you come to that point where,
Yes.
is this ever going to happen to me? Am I just running in the dark? I mean,
And
is
then
this
you
right?
start doubting yourself, there is
all
this
that,
huge self-doubt.
And you know what changed for me at 1 year? There's this 1 year where Praveen sir was in the 12 o'clock slot, and the same day Vaibhav sir was at 6 p.m. slot. And I watched, and I love both the artists, and Sir Praveen sir being from Bangalore and Vaibhav sir in Bombay. I have like a very close connect with both of them. So when I watched Praveen sir, and then that evening, again, the next performance that I watched was Vaibhav sir's. I just sat back and I told myself, what is it that you want? Do you want Music Academy or do you want that artistry? And I was like, obviously,
I think I want
that
both.
Artistry.
I think I
No,
want both.
it's okay. I'm happy with artistry. Now we have Facebook and all, and Insta Live and all, Arupa. We can manage.
Yes. But I'm
but
sure
when I
it has
saw
been...
that, that point really changed me and thankfully made me a much happier, content dancer. Like at that point, when I watched both these artists, I'm like, in my mind, they were quite old. They were very mature, and I feel like they should have been there much before. But you get what you get when you're destined to get,
Absolutely,
right? And I was like,
absolutely.
what have they done to be here? Have they gone and fallen on people's feet? Have they networked? What have they done? They've sat quietly and practiced, and they've become great. And they are so good that Academy had to call them.
Yes, I think three people whom I have, learned similarly that you just polish yourself like a piece of diamond. You just keep polishing. One is who is, in the truest term, a diva today. That is Ramaka. You can't talk about Bharatanatyam and not talk about Rama Vaidyanathan. And I remember, I have seen her since I was 20, 21. She must have performed before that, but I realized, there was this dancer whom everybody in my family knows, how I have followed her. So she also, and she told me once in a very informal conversation, that Chennai takes a lot of time to accept you. And that's the time when you just keep honing your art. You just keep working at it. You just keep increasing your whatever knowledge base, your art, your practice, whatever it is. Just stay like with a horse's vision. And that's what I would say, Keerthana, I have, thanks to Chitraka, I think I have danced in all the major sabhas. I have danced in Music Academy at 6 o'clock as Sita. There is it has been a great responsibility that Akka has given me.
Tick everywhere.
Yeah, I have never danced solo in Music Academy, but I have been there on that, that great stage where the stage wants to engulf you like that you feel when you stand on that stage. So,
Wow.
but I think it's important to have patience. Now I feel it's very, very important to have patience and to wait. And I think that's what today, this
And
year has taught
self-belief,
us.
like self-belief. And
Yeah,
self-belief. No?
absolutely.
You believe that you'll
Absolutely.
do it, you'll make it. Ye nahi to
Yes.
wo, kuch to you'll make, you'll do something in life.
No,
I
your
think
your
that is
dance,
something I learned.
yeah. Dance is something which is dance and music, okay, both like it is something so intangible. Like I can like your dance, I can not like your dance. It's a very personal relationship with art that
Right.
that we have. So there is a place and a stage for every performer. Today, I really believe that
Absolutely.
that there is a time, there is a stage, and there is also an audience for each one of us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I
I
hope we
will
are
I
not.
will say there's a market for everyone.
Oh, you are an
Like
MBA,
I
no, so
just
obviously,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So just put
I'm
that
a
word there.
little
There's a
bit,
market for
yeah.
everyone, and everyone can have their audience. And I think in a way it's so democratic now because of Instagram and Facebook and social media.
Yes,
Like if you
yes,
want to perform and you want 100 people to watch you, you don't have to spend so much money. You can just do it wherever you are,
yes,
right?
yes, absolutely.
It's
And
kind
also,
of
like
changing.
this year has taught us to be patient. Okay, रुक जाओ, धीरे चलो. So pull back. There is like
True.
just work,
How has
work.
the
That's all.
lockdown been for you, Arupa, in Delhi
Oh, the
alone?
lockdown has been
And it's not getting over
crazy.
there. It's like
It's crazy. It's crazy. As
bad.
if it's getting over in Mumbai. Mumbai was the
Hey,
worst
I'm in
affected.
Bangalore now, yeah.
Okay. So you're lucky. So lockdown has
I
been
know, no, I just
crazy.
came to Bangalore.
Yeah. But it has been like a wonderful. I hope we are not overshooting time. Do you have a watch?
I feel we are. One second, I'll
Yeah.
just see.
The Akila should have factored
Uh,
in one more hour for us. So, with two
we're
chatterboxes
at
come.
4:25.
Yeah, so
So
I
I
think,
think we have 10
yeah,
minutes.
yeah, 10 minutes. Provided my phone allows me because I can see a red beep going on there also. So, so lockdown has been quite interesting. Of course, it has given all of us a lot of we time, me time, as you can call it, and with practice. But surprisingly, I have dealt with a lot of knee issues over this period. So practice has
Oh
been
gosh.
very, yeah. It's something that I really want to tell. Akila is covering her face, so I hope that's not a sign.
Shouldn't it be
That's
like this? Like Akila should
like
have
this,
done this. Yeah.
like this. Okay, so I hope got these two together. So no, so I want to tell people that when I was okay, so now I'm on the threshold of 40s, very honestly, okay? So,
I am
so
not by mistake also revealing my age. So don't
again,
you?
so but when you are in your 20s, you think everything is very casual. No warm up needed, no cool down needed, just need to dance. Your adavos are enough. But things like, I just want to put this as a word of caution because which my seniors have done. I have not followed, and I'm sure my juniors will also not do. But still, the through experience that it's very important. Like what my physiotherapists tell me now that we are like sports people. And unfortunately for us, or fortunately for us, the
True.
nritta part has increased from what it used to be. The space has increased. The body conditioning is extremely required, and as much work is required off the stage, off dance, as it is required for dance, like in dance. So exercising, gymming, building up your muscles, these are so important. And these only now, when you have an injury, these are like, looms large on your face. So
True.
that is something there. But other than that, I think lockdown has been extremely interesting because I have
So
warmed
you've
up.
worked, strengthened your knees, and it's become better.
It's
Your work.
it's still Delhi abhi dur hai.
Getting there.
Like,
Oh,
yeah.
God.
But it's getting better. It's getting better every, like, every week I can feel myself कि अच्छा ये भी कर पा रही हूँ. अच्छा 10 खुद तो मैं टिक कर लिया. आज मतलब it's like a super goal. Okay. So
Okay,
like
so
that.
I'm also
So
there in that same post-mom break. Oh God,
yeah.
it's so
How has it
difficult.
been?
But
How has it been? Like, do you
I don't
now
know where
is
to.
Krishna Nibe Gane Baro is becoming more, you can see, or what is it happening?
You really
Oh,
think, see, I'm not this natural mom, very loving and I don't have patience. It's very difficult. So it has its own challenges, Arupa. And for me, I feel like the lockdown was like an extended pregnant break because I just started going to the studio and then the next week we were like massively hit in Bombay. And I think 8 months since I stepped out of the house. And when I stepped out, I stepped into a flight to come to Bangalore. So it's not been easy at all. But yes, like you said, I got to reflect a lot more. And the best thing is, how else would you get to listen to such great people talking, sharing their insights, such lovely conversations, such amazing concepts done
discussion,
even by
yeah.
Alap. Yeah, discussions. See, those discussions are something, our treasure. We don't generally get that. Like a
So,
performance you get to
so
watch,
you
but you
were
don't
saying
get to
that
listen to them.
we had a 365-day Margazhi happening over lockdown,
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
direct
I
access,
agree.
yeah.
And you had
Yeah.
plethora of options. You can choose discussion, you can choose interview, you can choose performance. We actually had a lot of art reaching
Yes.
us. And I'm
Yes.
grateful and thankful. I think that kind of kept my sanity. Otherwise, it would
And
have
I
been
think
very
it's a
tough.
nice thing that despite in the initial stage, like, free performances were happening. But I think now whatever digital
Yeah.
performances are happening are also paid, you know, like everybody is making an attempt. So, Akhila brought in this very interesting word for both of us, curator. So I have also been lucky enough to work with a lot of folk artists, and I think that's where our main struggle has been, that nobody should work for free anymore. So nobody should,
Absolutely.
even if it is a digital medium, like we have moved from the temple to the proscenium, probably this is the next step where you are moving from,
Yes.
proscenium to the studio. So you need to understand that even this has its own economics.
Yeah.
So as an organizer, as a curator, I think, are you planning to digitize your festival sometime?
Yes. So Evam goes 21 on just about releasing
Hmm.
the final
Hmm.
schedule and things like that. Yeah, in fact,
Right,
just start
right.
just doing that. So yes, I am definitely not keeping it free. It's going to be monetized, and I
Hmm.
think it's important for us to do that. See, initially we were all grappling. We didn't know what's happening. It was so uncertain. Now that it's
Yes,
been so many months, I think we've all understood how to dance for camera. We're trying different experiments in
absolutely,
terms of
absolutely.
content, how to
Yes.
shoot. Many
Hmm.
of the younger dancers have just killed it, right? Like they're doing such great work
Oh,
for camera.
wonderful,
I think we
wonderful.
all have to learn. Yeah, we all have to learn.
Yeah. When I've seen stuff like, that vegan video of Divya, that is so amazingly done with, you understand that the concepts are changing, the angles are changing. So
Yeah.
everything, like,
I've
this is
also
a new
seen a lot
audience.
of very young dancers putting out such great work. There's this girl called Payal from Pune. Oh my God, what an idea! What a mind! She has only done some Garuda Tilana and she's shot it on a cliff and very nice, very interesting. So
Phenomenal,
yeah, I
phenomenal.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I think in a way it has been difficult and we are privileged that we are still dancing and doing at least our regular income. I mean, for me, my teaching has not stopped, thank God. So we are privileged. And also many people have learned or are learning how to ride this tide as well. So it's in a way
Absolutely.
it is exciting to see what our dancers, what our artists are doing and how nicely people are trying to move ahead in this
Yeah, yeah,
situation, right,
yeah,
Arupa?
yeah.
So
So
I think
I
we're
think we
on,
can,
we
we
should
can wrap
wrap.
it up. And I
Yeah.
once again thank you, Alap, for bringing both of us together. I think after a long time we had a wonderful chat, and truly I felt
Yes.
like, I was sitting across Keerthana and we were having a
Yeah.
discussion. Yeah. So thank you so much. I don't know, there has not been any question. There has been many
Any
reactions.
questions? Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So,
can see a lot
like,
of emoticons. Thank
yeah,
you, everybody. Thank you, all our
for
friends, and
joining. Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
Alap
and
has created
some,
this community again for dancers and dance lovers, So
yeah,
hats off to
yeah,
Akila, hats off to Alap and all the team. Sapna has been really sweet,
yeah,
guiding us through
absolutely.
the process. So
Fossils
thank
like
you
us.
so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely,
Thank you,
absolutely, complete.
Arupa. Thank you, Akhila. And thank you,
Yeah.
all of you all, for joining in and having this cup of coffee with us over conversations. And do tune in for the next few days as well. There are some lovely
Yes,
people
it
to
looks
listen to.
lovely. Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you, namaskar, and to wish you a very happy
Namaskar.
Margazhi Masam ahead. Thank you.
Yes. Bye, Arupa. Thank you so
Bye
much.
bye.
Namaskar.